Hey, what's up, guys? This is Kareem, aka the T-shirt Professor, here with another video. Today, just gonna pretty much just talk about the materials that I use when I do my shirts. So, which is Plastisol and vinyl. So, when I first got into it, all right, I didn't know anything about vinyl. All I knew was, well, really when I first wanted to get into screen printing or doing shirts, all I knew of was screen printing, whereas though you actually take it to a screen printing shop, and they got this big old machine that got about 4 to 6 or more screens on it, and they silk screen doing this whole big old process. And with that, it's it's a little bit more involved, and it is a you got to do a minimum order of shirts in order to for that to be cost effective. So that's what I knew. That's what I knew. And I was like, well, I don't have that, and nor do I have the money to just kind of sit aside and just order 15 or 20, whatever the minimum was. But so the alternative to screen printing is one of the things that I use, which is Plastisol, which is transfers, which is in other words, what it is, it's an alternative to screen printing, but it's an alternative to screen printing without the mess and without the headache, and without the all these like just crazy costs that's associated with doing it at a shop. And so what it is, it has the overall result. It has the same kind of feel and texture on the shirt as if you actually got it screen printed. Only difference with this is instead of me ordering, okay, if I want to do 50 shirts or whatever, instead of me having to buy a press, buy a screen print and all that, all those pieces of equipment, what I do is I get with one of my my vendors, which I have several vendors that I get transfers from, and I upload my design. All right, and what they'll do is, now with them is a minimum also, which is why I started getting into vinyl, but I'll tell you more about that in a second. Which is, you send the information in, they they do the whole color correction, all that that's involved in it, that whole process, and they send you back the designs that they actually screen pressed or screen printed onto this special transfer paper. So what I do is then take that paper, when I get it, all it is just a piece of paper with the design on the paper, which I then take and then transfer it via a heat press. You can only do it via heat press. You can't iron it on. All right, there's no iron that gets hot enough or enough pressure to use Plastisol. So you have to have a screen print, an industrial screen press, I should say, to have these Plastisol transfers stick to the shirt. So you get the shirt, or you get the Plastisol transfers, you put it on there, you put it and you press it down for 4 seconds to 15 seconds, whatever, depending on the material, whatever brand you use. And by the time you then you lift the print, the heat press up, and you hot peel it away, meaning that whenever it's like, the sooner that you lift up the heat press, you take and you peel away the backing of it, and then all that's left is the design printed onto the shirt. That is the alternative to screen printing. Now that is, that's pretty much the best that you can do as far as screen print quality without actually doing the screen print work. All right. So the only downside to that though is, even with the Plastisol transfers, the way I'm explaining, you have to do a minimum. There's a minimum requirement involved with this. So, and because there's a minimum requirement, that cost me a lot of business. That cost me a lot of business, you know, over time, because there was a lot of people coming to me that knew and know that I do t-shirts, that wanted, you know, like 2 or 3 shirts. And I, you know, when I only knew that part of the process, I couldn't, it wasn't nothing I could do. I wasn't able to fulfill that order, because I said, hey, all right, you know, you can't come to me unless, you know, there's a minimum of 15. So I found myself in a predicament of being the same type of company or the same type of vendor that I didn't like as far as the screen printing people. So so then I'm like, man, so I had to reevaluate stuff. I'm like, so okay, what do I need to do to be able to, you know, not lose this business, and still be cost effective? And so that's how I got into, then I started teaching myself and learning about vinyl, which is, you know, you got different types of vinyl. You got the regular vinyl that you can stick like on windows and stick on glass and things like that you see at different businesses and establishments. And then that you can do with cups and glasses and all that kind of stuff that you can put on actual material that's not shirts or clothes. Then you have heat transfer vinyl, which is, that's designed specifically to adhere to and bind to material, cotton, polyester, cotton and polyester blend, you know, things like that. And that is something that you can do whenever you have one-offs, meaning that if somebody came to me saying, hey, Kareem, I need a t-shirt for, you know, for graduation. Can you do that? Yeah, I can do that. So that is that's the privilege of being able to utilize transfer vinyl or heat transfer vinyl. You don't have to worry about minimums. You don't have to worry about minimums. Now I have the ability to you know, do 1 shirt or 1,000 shirts. Now, of course, you know, as you get into situations where, okay, you got a big old, you know, you have a big order, then you got to start using, okay, then you got to start kind of play with numbers, and you know, there's wisdom involved. All right, so you got to think like, okay, if I got 100 shirts, if I got a 100 shirt order, is it better and more cost effective to do vinyl, or is it better to do you know, transfers? In that case, I'd probably do transfers, because with vinyl, what I didn't say about the vinyl is that you have to, you know, the more intricate the design, you have to weed out all of these little pieces that don't go into, you know, that won't go into the shirt. You have to weed them out, and I'll show you examples of what I mean by weeding out, like on another video. But that's certainly something that you wouldn't want to do when you have 100 shirts, all right? Because that wouldn't be time effective. You know, it wouldn't be, you know, it'd probably be cost effective, but by the time you finish with time and labor and all that kind of stuff, you know, you feel like you're in the red. But with transfers, as far as something like that, then you know, but then you take it in a case-by-case situation, though. You know what I mean? It's always evaluate the situation. That's why whenever somebody want to do business with me or want to do shirts and it's like a big order or something like that, you always want to find out, and this is for anybody who wants to do t-shirts or get into t-shirts, always get the most detailed information as possible, all right? Because that all affects price. All right, so first of all, how many shirts are we doing? What color are the shirts? Is it white, or is it a colored shirt of any color? All right, is the design going on the front only, or is it going on the front and back? All right, is the design just a pocket size, or is it covering the whole chest? All right, things like this you gotta consider when you're doing a multiple order shirt, a multi-shirt order, and you're trying to choose between vinyl and Plastisol. Another thing is you want to determine how many, what the color is and how many colors are in the design. All right, so it's a lot of stuff that you really got to consider. And like I said, a lot of this stuff I didn't know. Now that once you get into vinyl, that opens up a whole nother world for you. All right, and I'm not even talking about getting into sublimation or direct to garment printing or just other different print methods. I'm just talking about strictly the ones that I do mainly, which is Plastisol and a heat transfer vinyl. There's several other methods of printing out there that that's available. Most of them, I stick to what I like. I stick to what I do best. And so, but yeah, so just like I said, these are things that I kind of wish I knew. I wish I knew about vinyl sooner. I wouldn't have lost customers or whatever. You know what I mean? But it's all good, because going forward, and I'm getting ready to start doing some other kind of print methods as well. I'm just trying to do the whole gamut, man. But yeah, if you got any questions, or now, just like anything else, there's advantages and disadvantages to everything. All right, there are going to be times where, and I could save this for another video, when I talk about the kind of pitfalls that I dealt with as it relates to Plastisol. You have more wiggle room to work with when with vinyl. All right, you have more opportunity for there's more room for error, I should say. There's more room for error when it comes to doing shirts or doing any kind of design with vinyl, because you mess up a Plastisol shirt. If you get 50 Plastisol sheets, all right, and you mess up one, and you got a 50 shirt order, you got to turn around and get a whole nother minimum of Plastisol sheets, which is going to cost you big. See, so there's there's disadvantages and advantages to having the Plastisol. Now with vinyl, you can, the way that's set up, you can make a mistake with vinyl, but then you can turn around and fix that mistake. All right, so that is that's one of the advantages to vinyl over Plastisol. But anyway, I'm getting ready to cut this video short. I just wanted to kind of let you guys know that, what I use for my shirts, primarily going to be heat transfer vinyl, and you're going to use, or I use Plastisol transfers, which I use for larger orders. All right. In one of my upcoming videos, I'll show you guys how I, show you, break down a pricing method, like how to actually price this stuff out. So if you guys out there do t-shirts and you're new to it, obviously you guys will be able to benefit from that. So yeah, this has been another edition of, the t-shirt professor. And I hope you guys enjoyed this lecture or whatever. But any questions, I'm willing to answer any questions. I'll probably do a couple live videos too, going forward. But any kind of questions I can ask that you guys can ask, if I don't know the answer to it, I will find an answer, because that's what I do. I'm a researcher, so I'll find the answer. But yeah, just keep plugging away at it. If you like doing t-shirts, if that's something that you aspire to do, go ahead and just get out there, just start doing it, man. Just put your ideas to paper, and then that's the first step. Just start taking the action. Just start taking the action. I procrastinated. I could have been further sooner, but it's all good. God redeems time. You know what I'm saying? God is he's not stuck in the box. So he see that I'm moving out on this stuff right now, so he's gonna redeem the time for me. So that's all good. So I hope you guys got something from it. I hope you guys enjoyed it. This is Kareem, aka the T-shirt professor, signing off, and I'll see you guys next time.